All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update, and I am just laughing a lot today about these responses that I'm seeing on social media in regards to the sale of Warner Brothers Discovery. Because just a few months ago, you had all the gun goons saying Warner Brothers is not going to be sold, that it's not true, and they've been actually saying this for years, and now that it's up for sale, they're all trying to say rumors that are out there aren't true, that this is true, this is not true, this is true, this is not true. I'm just totally laughing. I'm not even posting about it on X right now because we got to see where the cards fall. And I will tell you that there is more information that came out in regards to the video I did yesterday about the Saudi company wanting to take over Warner Brothers. And it's not just that. Apparently, they want to start a whole event that's going to be like the Marvel Doomsday event, that they actually have plans to do this huge event that they're trying to plan with Zack Snyder, possibly even with James Gunn, and that they're not actually going to be the ones that buy Warner Brothers. They're just going to be the backers. And in my last video, there was actually someone from Comcast that met with them, and supposedly Comcast, we're going to see the real players who are going to be bidding on this. Variety reported on it today. We're going to see the truth about who's bidding on it. And apparently the Saudis want to team up with Comcast and be the ones who help fund what they're trying to do, not actually be the owners, okay? And there's a lot of people who don't want the Saudis to get it, and I can understand their concerns. I just have to laugh at everything that's going on because it's not going to happen. Now that we know it's going to happen, everyone's fighting about this. And you're going to want to stick around till the end of the video because I was also roped into this streaming thing yesterday on X that just blew my mind. It was the most childish thing I have seen in a long time. And I'm going to talk about this at the end of my video because not everybody's going to want to hear about that. And I'm going to talk about that. I think it's funny that I don't know, the perception of things is just so bizarre behind the scenes. And we're going to talk about the whole restore the Snyderverse and sell Zack Snyder to Justice League thing here at the end of today's video. But let's look at the sales stuff that has come out over the last 24 hours. So first of all, it was Patrick, the producer, who had reported on this originally, and that was picked up by Cosmic Book News. And you can see here that he says, hot tip, the Public Investment Fund, PIF of Saudi Arabia, reportedly worth upwards of $1 trillion, is very close to final deal to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery with an estimated offer of $70+ billion. And you can actually see that this was liked by Zack Snyder himself. And if you think about this and you think about all of the things that he has been posting, and I'm going to have a regular update tomorrow as well. He actually posted more stuff that I will show in my video tomorrow. There is definitely something going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to, and nobody is at this stage. And for people to act like it's not happening is complete ignorance, because there is something happening behind the scenes. Will it ultimately, reveal itself to be the restoration of the DCU? We don't know for sure. Nobody knows. And anybody claims that they know for sure, they're lying to you, okay? Because nobody knows. This was posted and Zack Snyder actually liked it. Also, here's that news that I was talking about. It was reported by the New York Post that Comcast CEO Brian Roberts travels to Saudi Arabia as he explores bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. And the report is that he wants to team with them and that they're going to help fund it, but it will still be owned by an American company, Comcast. So here's where things get very funny, because I actually had some people come into my profile on X, tell me I was wrong, that nobody has reported on this, none of the outlets, and yes, they have, because here's Variety. And we're going to see how ridiculous this gets, because we're going to look at a photo right after this that this is what started to make me laugh. It says David Ellison's Paramount Skydance is bringing in new Middle Eastern partners to support its full bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. The company has joined forces with the sovereign wealth funds of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi to submit the offer. Each of the funds would put up $7 billion for a total of $21 billion. Paramount Skydance would front $50 billion for the Warner Brothers Discovery acquisition offer for a total of $71 billion offer. Now, what's funny is this is what we heard about Comcast, okay? Now, let's look at this next thing. This just cracks me up. So then somebody comes out and says, updated with comment from Paramount Skydance. Paramount Skydance denies that its Warner Brothers Discovery bid involves Arab sovereign wealth funds via Variety. So you've got all these people claiming this, claiming that, claiming this, claiming that, and then claiming that there aren't any, outlets reporting on this, legitimate outlets. I'd say Variety is pretty legitimate, wouldn't you? And the thing is, we don't know exactly what's happening behind the scenes, but we do have some definitive information on what is going to happen here in just a couple of days. And we're going to take a look at that. So here it is. Warner Brothers Discovery has set November 20th deadline for first round bids. The board is expected to meet before Thanksgiving to evaluate the offers and aims to have the process wrapped up by year end. 3 legitimate bidders are putting together offers. You have Paramount Skydance, Netflix, and Comcast. Now, if you remember, everyone said Netflix was not going to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. Well, we know that now that Netflix is interested, even though you had all these guggooners saying it's not going to happen. Well, in fact, they are interested, even though you had all of those parties out there who are anti-Zack Snyder posting that Netflix was never going to buy it. They first said Paramount didn't have the funds. Now they want Paramount to buy it because they said they would keep Gunn. And now you got Comcast, who had a meeting with the Saudi Arabia, people to possibly put in a bid for this as well. There's a lot of moving parts. Everything is in play. And anybody who tells you that anything can happen is not in play, they're lying to you. They are gaslighting you. I am not. There is a legitimate chance that the DCEU could be restored. A very real chance. The most real chance we've had since Henry Cavill announced he was coming back as Superman before the studio yanked it out from underneath him. Does that mean it is going to happen? No, there's no way to know if that is definitively going to happen. But I told everybody years ago when this all went down that the goal was for Warner Brothers to be sold. Zaslav never wanted to keep it in the first place. This was the whole goal at the end of the day. And so we now know who the big players are. We know who could possibly be behind it. And I could tell you that Paramount Skydance did not specifically say they were going to keep Gunn and go on with his vision, even if they did get it. You have people talking about it, but there has been no mention from that company itself. There's no definitive answers. And what's funny is you'll have people believe certain things online because supposedly people within that company said something, even though it came from a third party claiming that that's who said it, when there's no definitive proof. Yet, you had Cosmic Book News actually post something from that producer that talked about what was happening in Saudi Arabia. And so with Zack Snyder posting all of this stuff on Instagram, you know that there is something going on behind the scenes. You have a lot of the actors getting involved. There's definitely movement, and there are definitely possibilities. For anybody to say there isn't, they are lying to you. Then you had Sil Abdul post this. Whoa, wait. It's coming out that the Saudis pulling out of Comcast deal because they feel Trump won't allow them to close the deal. The Saudis reportedly are all in on Paramount. And that's where that rumor came from, but Paramount is denying it. So like I said, you have all these people out there claiming this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. We're not there. We don't know what's happening. But we know that there are 3 major companies that are interested in taking over Warner Brothers. Also, right after that, we had DC Universe Daily say Comcast CEO Brian Roberts, is confident he can win the bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. He has reportedly told insiders that Comcast can meet Warner Brothers Discovery's asking price. NBC Universal is targeting Warner Brothers Discovery Studios and streaming units, including DC, HBO, Max, WBTV, film, and games. So they are all in. And if you remember, there's just a lot of stuff going on. And so we don't know who's going to help fund what, who's going to end up with it in the end, but it's definitely up for sale. All right, now, for people who don't want to stick around for this next part, you can just leave the video. I'm going to talk about something that happened on X yesterday that I was, totally oblivious to and was just blown away by this conversation. So I saw some people that I follow on X, who I know are part of the, Sell Zack Snyder to Justice League group, start a stream, and I wanted to join in. I follow all of the individuals that were a part of this. I have been following them for years. And I decided to listen in on the stream, and then they started talking shit about me, legitimate. And I'm like, what is going on? And so they go on to explain that apparently, and this is something I was totally oblivious to, if you guys have noticed, people will either do Restore the Snyderverse or sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix or sell, ZZJL to Netflix, that you're either getting the to sell to Netflix or you're getting the Restore. Now, for years, I have been doing all three of them. It's what I do when I post. Every once in a while, I might just do one or the other, but 90% of the time when I post about these, I am posting all three because I want to cover the bases, because I'm neutral in all of it. All I care about is that the DCU gets restored. I don't care who does it. All I care is that it gets restored, okay? I have no skin in the game. I am one channel, running my channel, doing my thing. These individuals, and I'm not going to name who they were, tried to claim that I was aware that these two factions were basically feuding with each other and that one hated the other, and that I was somehow favoring one over the other, which blew me freaking away. And I'm going to tell you what it all boils down to at the end of the day. I have a bigger platform than any of the individuals that were on this stream. I have a larger following, and I have no allegiance to anybody. None. Zero. I am a single channel running my gig. I have never claimed allegiance to one side or another. I have never favored one side over another. I didn't even know there were sides. And they tried to frame it as I'm a smart guy and I should have known what was going on. How? There was a war that was going on between these individuals. I don't go to their, stalk their personal pages if that's what they're expecting. I'm a very, very busy individual, and I had to explain this to them. And they still tried to pin it on me as I was doing this on purpose to favor the other side, which is utter ignorance. All it was people puffing up their chest and trying to be the taller person and act like they're at the cream of the crop. And I got to tell you, I have a bigger following than these individuals, and I have never claimed allegiance to any specific group doing any specific thing, because at the end of the day, all I care is about DC, and I want epicness returned to the movie franchise, and I don't care how it gets done. So if somebody's feelings are going to get hurt because I choose to use one hashtag versus another, that has nothing to do with me and has never had anything to do with me. They tried to bring me into a feud that had absolutely nothing to do with me. And so I think there are some people that really need to humble themselves and maybe really understand what is happening and understand that not everything is a competition. It's not. I don't look at my channel as a competition versus anybody else. I've never looked at this hashtag versus that hashtag as a competition against each other. Like, to me, that is asinine, and that's why I use all of them, because I just want to cover all of the bases. But this, apparently there was this massive faction within the Restore, the DCEU universe, that these people were, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what was going on behind the scenes. All I know is it did not involve me and had nothing to do with me. I still appreciate every single one of those individuals because, I mean, there was a reason I was on that stream. I went on there not understanding that I was about to get, lynched right there in the stream. But I held my own, and I explained my situation, but they tried to frame as I was stupid for not knowing, and that's just not the case. There was no way for me to know because I wasn't involved. And so it was just the strangest, most childish thing I've ever seen people try to do, and I don't appreciate it. I really don't appreciate it. I will never allow myself to be roped into something that does not involve me, and I will stand up for myself. And so there you guys have it. There's my update for the day. If you actually like today's video, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm going to be covering all of the news with everything that's going on with DC going forward, and I appreciate all of the support. And if you hit that notification bell, you will be notified as I have new videos go up. We'll see you guys on the next one.